by educating people to not only work in teams, but to have knowledge, a breadth of knowledge about what each team member does and what they bring to the table and what value they add. We're able to ensure that not only are we avoiding these mistakes that in the past led to patient harm, but actually making patients thrive.
I mean, I think it doesn't need to be said that healthcare is very much a team sport. And the sooner we can introduce these students to interprofessional collaboration, the better it is for them being able to take advantage of the wealth of knowledge that their colleagues may have that they just don't know their colleagues have.
So tonight's event is what we call the Parkinson's Disease Interprofessional event, where we have students from physical therapy, physician's assistant, and speech-language pathology get together to work on a case of a person with Parkinson's disease, where they are doing their own assessments of the patient and coming together to have a mock round, so a team meeting to discuss all the different challenges the person's facing, what the assessment results mean, how this will affect recommendations for treatment and management, and ultimately, quality of life for the person.
So I personally have done an IP event before. I think they're really helpful, kind of work with other people and professions that we're going to work with on a day-to-day basis and see what they do and see how we can kind of work together for a common goal being the patient. And so I think it's really helpful to learn these skills now and kind of communicate with them, figure out how to who maybe have strengths in other areas versus others. So I think it's a very beneficial thing to do.
Well, there are a lot of aspects to interprofessional education. There are competencies that we want our students to have. There are, again, structured communication protocols that help people in the real world communicate with each other. So it's important that they learn a lot of things during the didactic part of their education so that when they get to the clinical setting, they can really hit the ground running and feel very comfortable as part of an interprofessional team.
I think it's really important because we spend so much time thinking just about speech and language that being able to hear the PT and the PA perspectives is nice through the experts in speech and language, but it's also good to get that holistic view.
I think it's important because it allows us to kind of really take in patient and see them in a broader sense. We want to make sure we're covering every single aspect of patient and making sure we're hitting all those points and making sure whenever they're ready to get discharged, we feel completely safe and find that they're able to go home.
My hope is that students learn that there are a lot of resources available to them by consulting appropriate services. And by working together, we can really bridge the gap for patients and eliminate unnecessary barriers to care.
The logistics of getting everybody together is a little tough, but there are other members of the healthcare team. And so having pharmacists, having nursing involved, I think is really key. And as we continue to add professions in the Bouvé College, we want more people to come and join us.